Today, we're diving into a massive puzzle at the very heart of the Philippine economy. It's a paradox, really, all about rice, and it comes with a staggering price tag, the 330 billion peso rice paradox. This is all about a huge inefficiency that, believe it or not, affects every single person in the country. Just look at that number. 330 billion pesos. And let's be clear, this isn't a one-time cost for some big project. No, this is the amount of value that literally vanishes from the Philippine rice sector every single year. Think of it as a giant invisible leak in the national bucket happening over and over again. So the big question is, where does it all go? I mean, in a country where rice is on the table every single day, how can so much value just disappear somewhere between the farmer's field and your dinner plate? That's the mystery we're going to unravel right now. And the stakes here could not be higher. This isn't just some abstract number on a spreadsheet. Rice is the lifeblood for over 110 million Filipinos. It's the entire livelihood for 2.5 million farming families. So this paradox, this inefficiency, it hits home for, well, pretty much everyone. Okay, so a 330 billion peso hole doesn't come from just one place. It's actually the result of 7 distinct leaks all along the value chain. So let's break them down one by one and see exactly where the system is failing. The very first leak happens right after the rice is harvested. This one costs the country between 24 and 36 billion pesos every year, and it's called post-harvest waste. So what does that actually mean? Well, for every 100 kilograms of rice that a farmer successfully grows, 10 to 15 kilos of it just vanish. It's lost because of poor drying techniques, bad storage, and rough handling. That is a massive amount of food and money just gone before it even has a chance to leave the farm. Now, the second leak cost us another 30 to 42 billion pesos. And this one is all about the lack of modern farm technology or low mechanization. And this isn't just about farmers not having shiny new tractors. It has a direct, measurable impact on how much rice can even be grown. You see, Philippine farms use less than 3 horsepower per hectare worth of machinery. Meanwhile, our neighbors like Vietnam and Thailand, they're using over 5. That gap translates directly into billions of pesos in lost rice. All right, so next up, even for the rice that makes it through the harvest, the journey from the farm to the market is another minefield. Poor logistics and handling chip away another 15 to 25 billion pesos every year. And now for a really big one. Just look at this price gap. A farmer gets paid about 18 pesos for a kilo of rice, but by the time we buy that same kilo in the store, it's 42 pesos. So, where did that extra 24 pesos go? It gets swallowed up by middlemen, and that gap costs the system a staggering 40 to 60 billion pesos a year. But the single biggest leak of them all is an absolute monster: our reliance on imported rice. Because the local system is so inefficient, the country is forced to import millions of tons of rice, costing us a jaw-dropping 100 to 150 billion pesos every single year. These leaks also hit farmers right where it hurts. A lack of access to fair credit siphons away another 10 to 15 billion pesos directly from their pockets. Think about this for a second. 3 out of every 4 small farmers can't get a normal loan from a bank. So they're forced to go to informal lenders, loan sharks basically, who charge incredibly high interest rates. It's a crippling debt trap that strips away any profit they might make. And the final leak is one we all feel personally: retail overpricing. On top of every other problem, this tacks on an extra 20 to 30 billion pesos to the price that we, the consumers, pay at the checkout counter. So let's just put it all together. From wasted harvests to overpriced groceries, with huge costs for imports and middlemen stuck in between, these are the 7 major leaks that add up to that 330 billion peso paradox. But here's the crazy part. As massive as 330 billion pesos sounds, it doesn't even tell the whole story. Those core leaks are really just the beginning. The problem is actually much, much deeper. Because once you start factoring in other systemic issues, things like inefficient land use, poor irrigation, low-quality seeds, and of course the huge financial impact of climate disasters, the numbers just keep on climbing. When you add everything up, The true total loss is closer to half a trillion pesos. Let that sink in. 500 billion pesos. That's about 2% of the entire nation's GDP lost every single year in just one sector. Now, these numbers are absolutely staggering, but you have to wonder, are they unavoidable? Is this just the cost of doing business? Well, let's get some context and see how the Philippines stacks up against its neighbors. So, is this level of waste and loss normal for the region? The data gives us a very, very clear answer. And that answer is a hard no. It is not normal. This chart tells a powerful story. In the Philippines, consumers pay the highest price for rice, farmers use the least amount of machinery, and we lose double the amount of rice after harvest compared to our neighbors. This proves that these problems are not inevitable. They are a uniquely severe issue here. Okay, while those numbers are pretty grim, there's a flip side. Every single peso lost to inefficiency is also an opportunity. The way forward isn't necessarily about spending more money, it's about stopping the bleeding and capturing the value that's already there. And we don't have to solve the entire problem overnight. Just think about what a modest 10% improvement across the board would do. Even that small gain in efficiency would immediately unlock billions of pesos in savings. In fact, a simple 10% gain would generate 30 to 40 billion pesos in savings every year. To put that into perspective, that's enough money to cover half of the entire yearly budget for the Department of Agriculture. It's a game-changing amount of capital that could be reinvested to fix the system for good. And all of this brings us to the ultimate question. We've identified the leaks, we've counted up the losses, and we've seen the incredible potential for savings. The benefits could literally transform the lives of farmers and consumers alike. So, with billions on the line, what will it finally take to fix this chain?